Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, May 7, 2014. Just a quick note on three stories that we're not going to cover in particular. The Prime Minister of Thailand, Yingluck Shinawatra, has been ordered out by a Thai court. Also, Jack Ma's Alibaba, the gigantic Chinese e-commerce company, is moving toward a U.S. IPO, likely the biggest IPO in American history. And the kidnapping of the 300 Nigerian schoolgirls continues to attract world attention. The United States is sending law enforcement resources to Nigeria as we speak in order to assist in trying to find the children captured by Boko Haram. They're undoubtedly somewhere in the northern part of the country. Yesterday we reported on the White House climate change study, and we noted that in fact the study no longer talks about things that can be done to prevent climate change, but in fact begins to talk about things that are going to happen and warning people to be prepared. Some of the highlights or worst case scenarios are as follows. In the Northeast, heat-related deaths in Manhattan could nearly double by the year 2080, with increases in other urban areas. 30 million more people will be exposed to the threat of West Nile virus as a result of an increase in mosquitoes. By 2100, some 2.3 million people in the mid-Atlantic states would be at risk from a 3-foot sea level rise. $94 billion in flooding damage in Boston alone could be done by the end of the century. In the southeast, storm surges could wipe out property in Palm Coast, Florida, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Florida, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Coastline erosion will attack Miami, Tampa, Charleston, and Virginia Beach. In the Midwest, heat waves could cause up to 2,200 more deaths in Chicago alone under one model. Great Lakes surface temperatures could jump by 7%, fostering the growth of more invasive species. Snowmelt, combined with heavy rainfall, will unleash catastrophic floods. In the Great Plains, the number of days where the mercury tops 100 degrees will double. In the Southwest, wildfires will increase with a doubling of the burned areas in the southern Rockies and a 74% increase in burned areas of California alone. In the Northwest, median annual area burned by wildfires are expected to quadruple, and ferry terminals and wastewater treatment plants and stormwater outfalls in Puget Sounds could be inundated by flooding and erosion. And in Alaska, northern waters will be virtually ice-free by the 2030s. It's a disastrous situation. Meanwhile, in Florida, another disastrous situation is unfolding. The Florida wind renewals are coming up on July 1, and multiple broking and underwriting sources say that the expectation now is for rates to drop by 15 to 25%. The evaporation of underwriting discipline in the $4 billion plus Sunshine State market is leading some underwriters to sit out. Local critics, as we mentioned yesterday, include Kevin O'Donnell, the CEO at Renaissance Re. He says some risk is being priced below an acceptable level of return for any form of capital. CEO Ed Noonan of Validus said that insurance-linked security managers are the truly disruptive factor in the Florida market. Even though there was an extra $2 billion or so of traditional reinsurance limit being demanded by primary carriers in the state, that was gobbled up immediately in no time, said one senior broking executive. Florida renewals stink. There's no distinguishing between programs, and it's like people are underwriting with their eyes closed, another person said. A fifth grader could quote a renewal. The current expiring rate online, times 0.85%, build in your 15% discount. It's a bloodbath. Whatever we thought was going to happen has gotten worse. Not a good situation. Meanwhile, it's good for one company, AmRisc, the big U.S. specialist wind managing general agency, is targeting strong growth in Florida this year. Why? They've added Bermuda hedge fund giant Nephila Capital to their list of insurers, or I should say reinsurers. They expect to see their book of business grow between 20 and 25% in terms of total exposures, translating out to about a 15% increase in premium. At the big broker Integro, Pete Garvey is out as CEO. John Clements is coming in as chairman and will name a new CEO and an executive committee. The war between Aspen and Endurance continues. Aspen CEO Chris O'Kane had a long interview in the Insurance Insider. He robustly defended his company's prospects in the face of the takeover bid from Endurance, saying that rivals, quote, are desperate to do deals before their lack of organic growth is exposed by worsening market conditions. He went on to say, I think in the circumstances, the Endurance bid of $47.50 is derisory. It's not a figure that could serve as a foundation for negotiation. It's utterly wrong. He said that the Endurance bid contained almost unique negative characteristics that would make it difficult to accept because of the leadership and the direction Endurance has taken. At the same time, O'Kane questioned John Charman's reputation as a hands-on leader, as well as his commitment to reinsurance as a class of business. He went on to question Endurance's continuity, constancy of purpose, and claims paying, and what he said is considered a hands-on approach to managing underwriting. He went on to say, quote, we have actually had calls from underwriters at Endurance, not only telling us that they agree with what we're saying, that our analysis is correct, which is very gratifying, but furthermore, telling us that their underwriting is compromised. He said that's about the most frightening thing that can happen to a principled set of underwriters. The South Korean ferry disaster continues to develop. Confirmed dead are 260. There's still about 120 missing. They're not going to be found. Apparently what's happened now is the police have indicted several management people at the Shanghai Jin Marine Company that owned the ferry. The ferry apparently was excessively loaded with cargo, and the cargo was not lashed down properly, causing it to begin to slide in the cargo hold, thus contributing to the imbalance, which then, upon a sharp turn, caused the ferry to capsize. It's not the first time this has happened. Apparently, the ferry was overloaded on this particular trip, for which the company received $62,000 in excess cargo fees. Over the past year, they have received $2.9 million in extra profit for all the excess cargo that particular ferry has carried. A fire has broken out in an oil depot in northwestern Iran today. There are conflicting reports of casualties. Firefighters are fighting the fire right now. It's at the southwestern part of the city of Aspen. The fire is particularly notable because Israel's Channel 2 News is reporting that in the past it's been claimed that the Aspen facility hosts, quote, an unreported nuclear site that contains stored uranium. According to the Iranian Fars news agency, officials have closed off a 2-kilometer radius around the fire. Swiss Re has reported solid profits in the first quarter of Q1. They grew their property casualty reinsurance book by almost 8%. They made a net profit of $1.2 billion in the quarter, slight decrease from $1.4 billion in the same period last year. Swiss Re noted that it had shifted the emphasis of its portfolio through tailored large transactions, writing less catastrophe business and expanding into casualty, which has seen profitable growth across all regions. This is in line with Swiss Re's strategy to allocate capital to lines of business with the most attractive returns. That's good if you can do it, if you're that big like Swiss Re and Munich Re and Hanover and some of the other ones. But if you're not that big a reinsurer, you're either being forced to sit out and forego premium revenue and bank on investment revenue, or worse yet, get in and race to the bottom like everybody else seems to be doing in Florida. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.